Did you know that the makeup you're using right now could be silently destroying your skin or worse, your health? Yes, you heard that right. Some popular beauty products are linked to skin damage, hormonal imbalances, and even life-threatening conditions. And guess what? They're hiding in plain sight on your vanity. Stick around, because in this video I'll break down the shocking ingredients, the science behind their dangers, and the real stories from women who faced serious consequences. Trust me, you'll never look at your makeup bag the same way again. Alright, it's always so easy to assume that if a product is on store shelves, it is safe, right? But trust me, that is not always the case, especially for us women over 50 who need to be more mindful about our health and skin than ever before. One of the biggest culprits hiding in your makeup bag is talc. On the surface, it seems so harmless, doesn't it? It's marketed as lightweight, silky, and ideal for absorbing excess oil. It's the reason your blush goes on smoothly or your setting powder keeps your makeup in place all day. But here's the unsettling truth. Talc has been repeatedly linked to asbestos contamination. And asbestos isn't just another irritant, it's a known carcinogen. Yes, carcinogen, meaning it has the potential to cause cancer. If that isn't alarming enough, let's take a look at a high-profile case you might have heard about. Johnson & Johnson, the company faced massive lawsuits after their talc-based baby powders were linked to ovarian cancer. These lawsuits weren't just one-offs, they involved thousands of cases, with women alleging that years of talc use contributed to their diagnosis. The courts awarded billions in damages, and this sparked a wave of concern about the safety of talc in general. Here's the kicker. Talc isn't just in baby powder. It's hiding in many of the makeup products we use every single day. That's right, your favorite blush, eyeshadow, or setting powder may contain talc. And what's worse is that many women, especially those of us over 50, use these products to enhance our natural beauty or reduce shine, without realizing we could be exposing ourselves to harmful ingredients. So why is talc such a big deal? Let's break it down. For starters, talc itself can clog pores and irritate sensitive or aging skin, which is something many of us deal with as we mature. But the real danger comes when talc is contaminated with asbestos, which can happen during mining. Because talc and asbestos naturally occur near each other in the earth, there's a high risk of cross-contamination during extraction. Even the FDA has flagged this as a serious concern. In recent years, they conducted tests on cosmetic products and found traces of asbestos in some talc-containing items. Despite this, many companies still use talc in their formulas, arguing that their products are asbestos-free. But let's be honest, how many of us are willing to gamble with our health based on industry assurances? For women in our age group, this is especially important to think about. We've spent years taking care of our skin, investing in serums, moisturizers, and sunscreens to keep it healthy and youthful. Yet, a simple product like a talc-based setting powder could be undoing all that effort, not to mention putting our health at risk in ways far beyond skin deep. It's not just about cancer either. Prolonged use of talc-based products can lead to inflammation, redness, and irritation, especially if you already have sensitive or thinning skin. And let's face it, our skin tends to become more delicate and reactive as we age. Why add to the problem with a harmful ingredient that could easily be avoided? This is why so many women are making the switch to talc-free products. They're opting for safer alternatives, made with ingredients like cornstarch or rice powder, which offer the same oil-absorbing and smoothing benefits without the health risks. It's a small change that can make a big difference, both for your skin and your peace of mind. If you haven't checked the ingredient list on your favorite products yet, now is the time. Look for the word talc. It's often one of the first ingredients listed. And don't just assume that because it's a big name brand, it must be safe. Many popular and luxury makeup brands still use talc, So it's up to us as consumers to stay informed and make better choices for ourselves. So the next time you reach for that silky blush or flawless setting powder, ask yourself, is it really worth the risk? With so many talc-free options available today, it's easier than ever to prioritize your health without sacrificing your look. Remember, beauty should never come at the expense of your well-being. Now, if you thought talc was bad, just wait until we talk about parabens. These sneaky little ingredients might be quietly causing chaos in your body without you even realizing it. Parabens are preservatives commonly used in makeup and skincare products to extend their shelf life. On the surface, this sounds super convenient. After all, no one wants their expensive foundation or moisturizer to spoil after a few weeks, right? But here's the dark side of parabens. They mimic estrogen in the body. That means they can disrupt your hormonal balance, which is already something many of us over 50 are keeping a close eye on as we go through menopause and beyond. What's even more alarming is that parabens have been linked to serious health concerns, including breast cancer and reproductive issues. The way parabens act like estrogen in the body can promote the growth of hormone receptor-positive breast cancer cells. So while you're using that anti-aging cream to protect your skin, you might unknowingly be putting your overall health at risk. Parabens are everywhere, and they often hide in plain sight. Look for them on ingredient labels under names like methylparaben, propylparaben, or butylparaben. And get this, even some clean beauty brands still use them. So don't just trust the marketing, dig a little deeper. If this sounds like an exaggeration, let's look at the science. A study published in the Journal of Applied Toxicology found traces of parabens in breast cancer tissue samples. While there's still debate about the exact role parabens play in cancer development, the fact that they were detected at all is enough to raise red flags. Do you really want to take that chance? Many of us have spent decades learning to trust our gut and take care of our bodies. So when it comes to our beauty products, why ignore that intuition? We're smarter and more informed now than we were in our 20s, and we have the power to make better choices for ourselves. Here's another thing to think about. As we age, our skin becomes thinner and more absorbent. That means the products we apply are more likely to be absorbed into our bloodstream. If parabens are in your moisturizer, foundation, or even your lipstick, your body might be soaking them up faster than ever. And because our bodies process estrogen differently in our 50s and beyond, this hormonal disruption can have even more pronounced effects. A woman on a popular beauty forum shared her experience of switching to paraben-free products, explaining that she hadn't given much thought to parabens until menopause, when she began experiencing unusual hormonal symptoms. After making the switch to paraben-free makeup and skincare, she felt her body regained balance and decided she would never return to using products with parabens. It's not just about what these chemicals might do in the long run, it's about how they could be affecting your skin, your health, and your confidence every single day. And speaking of confidence, let's talk about another hidden danger in makeup that might be stealing it from you. Here's a little known but alarming fact. When you see fragrance or parfum listed on an ingredient label, it can refer to a cocktail of dozens or even hundreds of undisclosed chemicals. That's right, companies aren't required to disclose what makes up their signature scents because these blends are considered trade secrets. This means you have no idea what you're really putting on your skin. Why does this matter? For starters, many of these hidden chemicals are known irritants. They can trigger allergic reactions, cause skin sensitivity, and even lead to respiratory problems. If you've ever noticed your skin getting red, itchy, or inflamed after using a product, the fragrance could very well be the culprit. But that's not all. The Environmental Working Group has flagged fragrances as potential health hazards because they often contain phthalates. Phthalates are chemicals that help fragrances last longer, but they're also known hormone disruptors. Studies suggest that phthalates can interfere with your endocrine system, which regulates your hormones, and they've been linked to reproductive issues and even developmental problems. Some countries, like Europe, have banned certain phthalates in cosmetics, but the US hasn't caught up yet. As women over 50, many of us are already dealing with sensitive or thinning skin. Add to that the hormonal changes from menopause, and you've got a recipe for skin that's less resilient to irritants. The last thing we need is a product that smells nice but wreaks havoc on our health. Think about it this way. We've worked hard to simplify our skincare routines and find products that really work for us. Why let something as unnecessary as fragrance undo all that progress? Plus, as we age, we tend to become more sensitive to strong scents, making fragrance-free options not just healthier, but also more pleasant to use. According to research published in Environmental Health Perspectives, exposure to synthetic fragrances has been linked to a range of issues, from migraines to asthma attacks. Another study highlighted that phthalates in fragrance could impact hormone levels, potentially contributing to weight gain, fatigue, and other symptoms associated with hormonal imbalance. A Reddit user shared her experience with a popular foundation, describing how it caused her skin to break out in hives each time she used it. After reviewing the ingredient list, she discovered it was packed with artificial fragrance. Switching to fragrance-free makeup resolved the issue, and she vowed never to return to fragranced products. How many times have you bought a product because it smelled amazing, only to end up regretting it later? I've been there, wasting money on something that irritated my skin or left me feeling worse than before. Fragrance is one of those things that seems harmless but can quietly sabotage our skin and health. Here's the good news. Going fragrance-free doesn't mean sacrificing quality or luxury. There are so many amazing options out there that let your natural beauty shine without the hidden risks. Speaking of hidden dangers, let's move on to another ingredient that might be just as bad, if not worse. Lead. Yes, lead, the same toxic heavy metal you've heard about in headlines warning against lead in water pipes or old paint, has been found in something as personal and intimate as lipstick. And not just in the bargain brands you might suspect. It's been detected in luxury lipsticks too, from big-name companies you'd never think to question. The FDA has conducted tests and confirmed what many consumer groups have been raising alarms about for years. Lead contamination in lipsticks is real. It's not something the beauty industry advertises, but it's a hidden risk that could be sitting in your makeup bag right now. Now, you might hear companies say that the amount of lead in their lipsticks is within safe limits or trace amounts. But let's think about this practically. How often do you apply lipstick throughout the day? Maybe you swipe it on in the morning, reapply after lunch, again before dinner, and once more for touch-ups. That small amount of lead isn't so small anymore when you're reapplying it multiple times a day, every single day. Here's why this hits especially close to home for women like us. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at processing and eliminating toxins. That means any exposure to harmful substances, even in small amounts, can have a bigger impact on our health over time. Lead is particularly concerning because it accumulates in the body, and the effects can show up years down the line. Lead exposure is no joke. It's been linked to neurological issues, hormonal imbalances, and even fertility problems. For women in our 50s and beyond, hormonal health is already a delicate balance. Adding a toxic heavy metal to the equation is the last thing we need. Lead has also been associated with memory problems, fatigue, and mood swings, symptoms many of us might chalk up to aging or menopause. But what if your lipstick is contributing to those issues? It's a sobering thought, but one that's worth considering. A study by the Campaign for Safe Cosmetics tested hundreds of lipsticks and found that over 60% of them contained detectable levels of lead. What's even scarier is that some of the worst offenders were high-end brands you'd expect to be safer because of their hefty price tags. Experts argue that there's no truly safe level of lead exposure. especially when it comes to something you're literally putting on your lips where it can be ingested. Let's be honest, how many of us have spent years perfecting our signature lip color? For me, it's that perfect rosy nude that works for any occasion. But when I found out about the lead risks, I started asking myself, is my favorite lipstick worth the potential health problems? And let me tell you, finding out the truth felt like a betrayal. Many women have had their wake-up moments when it comes to makeup safety. For instance, some have shared how learning about the dangers of lead in lipsticks prompted them to switch to safer brands, leaving them feeling more empowered and confident in their choices. And let's not forget, this isn't just about health risks, it's about how these toxins might be affecting your beauty too. Lead can contribute to dull, dry lips, making that perfect pout harder to achieve. But don't worry, there are safer, equally fabulous options out there. Speaking of options, let's tackle another common ingredient that's just as concerning. Let's talk about formaldehyde. Yes, the same chemical used in embalming fluid has somehow made its way into our beauty routines. It's often used as a preservative in nail polishes, nail hardeners, and even eyelash adhesives. On the surface, it might seem harmless. It helps keep products stable and long-lasting. But here's the reality. Formaldehyde is a known carcinogen, which means it's been directly linked to cancer. Beyond the long-term risks, even short-term exposure to formaldehyde can cause problems. Prolonged use of products containing this chemical can lead to skin irritation, burning sensations, and respiratory issues. If you've ever left a nail salon with watery eyes or a scratchy throat, formaldehyde could be the culprit. And for women over 50 who may already experience sensitivities due to thinning skin or hormonal changes, the risk can be even greater. At this stage of life, we're more mindful about what we put in and on our bodies. But nail care and lash enhancements are still a regular part of many beauty routines. The problem is, the skin around our nails and eyes is thinner and more delicate as we age, making it easier for harmful chemicals to penetrate and cause damage. Plus, we're often more susceptible to allergic reactions, and formaldehyde is a top offender in triggering them. This isn't just theoretical, it's been a real issue. In 2020, a popular beauty brand faced major backlash after it was revealed. Their best-selling lash glue contains formaldehyde. Women reported severe allergic reactions, including swelling, redness, and difficulty breathing. For some, it took weeks to recover. And this wasn't a cheap, off-brand product. It was a product many of us might have trusted. The dangers of formaldehyde became all too real when I came across a story that truly stuck with me. A woman shared her experience of using a nail hardener containing formaldehyde, hoping it would strengthen her nails. Instead, she found herself in the ER with her throat swelling shut and her skin burning. She said she had no idea something so small could cause such severe damage. Stories like this serve as an eye-opener for all of us, highlighting the need to be cautious about what we're putting on our bodies. Formaldehyde has been classified as a human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Inhaling its fumes, even in small amounts, has been linked to respiratory problems, headaches, and dizziness. For nail salon workers who are exposed to it daily, the risks are even more pronounced. But even for occasional users, the potential for harm is still there, especially with repeated exposure. I know how satisfying it is to have polished nails or perfect lashes. It's one of those little things that can boost your confidence. But here's the thing, is it worth risking your health for? I've personally started looking for nail polishes and adhesives labeled formaldehyde-free, and let me tell you, the peace of mind is worth every penny. So by now you might be wondering, how do we avoid these hidden dangers without tossing out our entire makeup bag? Don't worry, you don't have to give up makeup altogether. Let's talk about practical steps you can take to protect yourself while still looking and feeling fabulous. The first and most important step is to become your own detective. Start reading ingredient labels like you would a nutrition label on food. Look out for harmful ingredients like talc, parabens, formaldehyde, and phthalates. It might feel overwhelming at first, but once you get familiar with these names, it'll become second nature. And don't let fancy branding or buzzwords like natural or organic fool you. Always double-check the ingredient list to be sure. As we age, our skin becomes more vulnerable to irritants, so what worked in our 30s might not work or be safe for us now. Taking the extra time to check labels is an investment in your long-term health. Clean beauty isn't just a trend. Rather, it's a movement towards safer, more transparent products. Look for certifications like EWG verified or cruelty-free to guide your choices. These labels indicate that the product has been thoroughly vetted for harmful ingredients and ethical practices. Brands like RMS Beauty, Ilia, and Beauty Counter are just a few examples that focus on cleaner formulas without compromising on quality or performance. When I made the switch to clean beauty, I was pleasantly surprised. I used to think these products wouldn't perform as well, but some of my favorite go-to items now are from clean brands. Plus, knowing they're safer gives me peace of mind every time I use them. Always patch test. It doesn't matter how safe or clean a product claims to be, always make sure to do patch tests first. Apply a small amount to an inconspicuous area, like behind your ear or on your wrist, and wait 24 hours to see if there's any reaction. This step is especially crucial for women over 50, as our skin tends to be more sensitive and prone to unexpected reactions. I once tried a new foundation that everyone was raving about. I skipped the patch test, and within hours of applying it, my skin was red and itchy. Lesson learned. It's always better to be cautious than to deal with an uncomfortable reaction later. Stay informed. Knowledge is power. Follow organizations like the Environmental Working Group, Campaign for Safe Cosmetics, or even trusted beauty blogs that focus on ingredient safety. They're constantly updating lists of harmful products and sharing tips for safer alternatives. Subscribing to their newsletters or following them on social media is an easy way to stay in the loop. The beauty industry isn't as heavily regulated as you might think, and new research is always coming out. Staying informed helps you make better decisions and avoid falling for marketing gimmicks. Consider going minimalist. Another way to protect yourself is by cutting down on the number of products you use. Do you really need 5 different lipsticks or 3 types of foundation? Focus on high-quality, multi-purpose products that you truly love and use regularly. This not only reduces exposure to potentially harmful ingredients, but also simplifies your routine, saving time and money. So now that you know what to watch out for, let me ask you, what's the one makeup product or ingredient you'll be double-checking after this? Let's share and learn from each other in the comments below. And if you enjoyed watching this video, you will definitely love this next one.